Freeze! Aim for their tars.
Yes, sir!
It was written to be a crazy, hard R action, horror, supernatural comedy, and everybody completely embraced that.
This is the first time that we worked with a company that they said, look, here's your money, go make your movie. We're not gonna mess with you creatively. And they didn't.
That's fucking amazing. Why can't anybody else just make the movie they want to make?
He's the one chasing us!
It doesn't happen enough, and maybe it's not meant to. That's why every once in a while you have something you never forget.
I'm addicted now to this action genre.
This is the way movies should be made.
The idea came to Todd Farmer and myself as we were just finishing up My Bloody Valentine. The movie was just coming out, and we were talking about what we wanted to do next. And then we wanted to do another 3D project, but not a straight horror movie. We wanted to do something different.
Patrick wanted to do a throwback to a time when the hero wasn't exactly squeaky clean.
I ain't never telling you where they taking him.
I know.
And suddenly we started talking about these old, great 70s car movies, and without knowing what it was, we started writing it.
When you get us in the room together, we don't look or sound or act at all alike, but yet we complement each other perfectly.
Todd's brilliant with dialogue and different sort of character nuances, and I'm more of a blunt sledgehammer that swings hard to smash as much as possible as quickly as I can. We finished writing it, the script in 8 weeks, so the end of March we have a script.
Normally what you do is you write a script and then you rewrite it 1,000 times. We wrote one draft, then we sent it out and we sold it. And people would come back and say, it feels so fresh. And it's like, because it wasn't rewritten 1,000 times. We didn't rewrite the magic of it.
The real benefit of shooting 3D with 3D cameras and capturing native 3D, live 3D, as opposed to post-converting is every single piece of the frame has dimensionality. And so after he shoots one of them in the leg, Nick just cocked the shotgun and racked in another round. And when he did that, the shell just went perfectly in three-dimensional space at the camera. And when you post-convert, you're basically taking slices. You're taking slices and dimensionalizing slices, and you're trying to make as many levels of dimension as you can. But really, there's no comparison. It's sort of like comparing real life to a pop-up book. That's kind of the difference. Pop-up book's fun to look at, but you know, real life's a lot better.
Who are you?
I'm the accountant.
When the accountant kills Frank, that scene was originally Frank was going to be out in the front steps, and the accountant was going to bend down and pull his spinal cord out through his back. And then Todd and I were talking about, well, it's a 3D movie. We should do something more 3D. And then we came up with the whole bat thing.
I probably practiced for 6 months doing this little flip with the bat. And then the day of, when I get there, Bill's like, you're not using that real bat. I was like, I'm not gonna hit you. You're not using the real bat. So they brought me this lightweight plastic bat, which you can't balance at all, and so I look like an idiot whirling that. But that's because, you know, Bill Fichtner.
You get this gory, horrific death, and you realize how violent the accountant can be, yet you love him for it.
I just really needed him to answer the question, so I back up, broke in half, and stuck him up on a wall with it. And then when he was up there, he wouldn't answer the question. So I took the other end of the bat and just, you know, started tapping it. Answer!
That came up when we were shooting it. Originally, the script was just banged it once. And I was like, no, Bill, you gotta bang it, you know, and punctuate every word when you do it. He's like, okay, and then it was hysterical.
He was so methodical in how he wanted to do everything. And then I'm hooked up to a harness, so I just keep getting yanked into the wall, and then he wants to do it again. Because Bill will do 1,000 takes, and he loves that.
I'm not one of these people that finishes shooting a scene and walks away and was like, ah, God damn, that was brilliant. I usually walk away and think to myself, did that work? You know, I call Patrick and should we reshoot it? And he's like, no, Bill, we don't need to reshoot it. It's fine.
It has wonderful impact in the film, hurling it at him in wonderful 3D space. And a lot of that also came from talking to Gary Tunnicliffe, our special effects makeup artist. Gary did an amazing job making this huge protrusion of the barrel of the bat lodged in his face. Was people, when they saw it, they're like, oh my God, because it looks incredibly real.
This is not a $100 million movie. It's not a $50 million movie. All movies have challenges, but we never had money in excess to throw at problems. So it was literally us sitting down and out-thinking a problem.
We often said in the film we don't have the Michael Bay money to destroy everything and make it look, you know, huge and explosion after explosion, explosion. But we can have a lot of attitude. We can live up to the title Drive Angry and have attitude that goes beyond what we can, you know, what we can afford.
Patrick came up with the action that we have now.
And literally sitting there playing with toy cars, suddenly we figured out, well, what if he just gets out? And the stunt guy, Johnny Martin, was just, well, what do you mean? He just steps out. He just steps out in the hood. Cop car goes to stops, and the tanker truck thing goes and rolls over, and Nick drives underneath. I'm like, oh, because I've never seen that before. Those are some of the coolest moments in that sequence, and they're so simple. Making all our money be on screen in the best way possible, and sometimes that's not about a barrage of kaboom. It's about being clever, and clever from a character standpoint. We actually threw a car over a bridge. That Colorado Trooper car, we flung off the side of a very high bridge. It has the most unusual turn in the air as it goes, because it was supposed to just launch out clean over the side, and instead it tagged the edge of the bridge and changed the rotation of its flip, which gives it this incredibly unusual way it travels through the air. And you realize that, okay, if somebody was using a CG car, you wouldn't animate it that way because it would never occur to you that it would do that you would add this thing in it. And the fact that it just did it, it rips the bumper off, and the bumper goes flying in this direction, the car spins on itself, is something that's so unique. And it's unique because, yeah, you know, it was an accident. The businesswoman's death was so much fun even to shoot. A lot of people were like, well, how are we going to do it? You know, what's it going to be? And so we locked off the camera. It's the simplest gag in the world. You have her there firing the gun, you pull her out, and the cameras stay locked down, and you just put in the dummy in the exact same position, and the car comes through and hits it. And when it happens, it's like scoring a touchdown. And then Gary dressed the front of the Lincoln afterwards, covered in blood, clothes, and hair, and it was just sort of awful and wonderful all at the same time.
Bull by the balls. Is there a better name for a bar?
The first artwork our production designer, Nathan Amundsen, did in the film was the sign for Bull by the Balls. I remember Todd showing up and seeing that artwork and seeing the sign and going, oh my God, I just sort of wrote that down as a joke, and we all just embraced it.
Usually I do hundreds of sketches for something, or have the graphics guy do sketches, but that was like, this one looks like a fun one to do, so just do a quick little sketch, and I showed it to Patrick, and he was like, that's it, it's perfect, don't change a thing.
His vision had such a sense of humor to it, which is what's so vital to the film, because we wanted the film to have a sense of humor.
There's even this, it was at the editing room, it's supposed to come home with me now. It's a sculpture that Nathan made of the girl riding the ball, and she's got the bull's balls stretched up behind her shoulders, and he's got that goofy look on his face. Bull by the Balls became this huge thing. I mean, it was just the name of a bar.
Nathan Amundsen brought a tremendous vision, to the movie that we wanted to make. He immediately got in the genre and the sort of back road, side road view of America we wanted to tell, and did a lot of pre-location scouting.
This place was this sort of decrepit old 1950s, sort of mid-century modern motel, and it had everything we needed. It had the most beautiful little hotel rooms, it had the sort of honky-tonk bar, it had all those things. The location was one of my favorites. We started, renovating it because it was in absolute shambles. We had to repaint the exterior. The back sort of pool area was overgrown. It looked like some primordial ooze in there, so had to clear out all that, change the plumbing. We had to renovate all the motel rooms. It worked out wonderfully, and especially to have all those different locations all at one place was very lucky, and we had very little time to pull off a lot of this stuff, so that was very helpful.
Nathan's one of the Beatles now, because we've always thought that we wanted to do what Eastwood has done, where he sort of collects this group of people that he always works with, and that these are the guys for the rest of their lives, they all make movies together. And so Nathan is, we've always thought of it as the Beatles, and Nathan is one of us.
I love this movie.
Nick loved the fact that the character got shot in the eye halfway through the movie, and then kept going, and loved that supernatural aspect. Nick always described the character as the Terminator via Edgar Allan Poe. I was talking to Nick about it, and I said, after you shoot your initial round, sit in the pew. Just drop into the pew as if your brain is reforming in your head. And he loved that, because suddenly it was just this moment, and if we push in, there's this, Nathan Amundsen put this incredible photograph of an actor portraying Jesus in the background that is so disturbing. And as we're pushing in on this guy who's just resurrected, I mean, the imagery is sort of staggering and probably mildly blasphemous. This character comes back to life with an absolute vengeful goal. But a pure goal.
Nick Cage is so amazing. You work with him and you see why he is the king of this genre.
Billy and Nick were very similar in that they were very dialed in very quickly, and had set out what they had in mind, and then we would sort of make tiny adjustments as we went.
Look around you. The world is on fire. And go ahead and laugh, boy.
It was one of those scenes where we were just sort of, we found ourselves riffing off each other. We got done, doing the first couple of takes, and we went and sat in our chairs and we started talking. And he said something like, "Yeah, it's best when it's like that. It's like jazz." And I'm like, God, there's a reason people love this guy,
Soon, the hounds of perdition will howl at our command.
With all the bad guys that I've played back in the early TV days, never did I ever have a chance to play a guy that had this kind of abandon.
He did the voice, the accent, the first time he auditioned, and he said he had never read it out loud, so he didn't even know what it was going to sound like.
Watch you gurgle while I eat my morning grapefruit.
It was, oh my God, that's it.
When dreaming up who he was, I always sort of saw him as, if he's a wannabe rock star, he's going to be sort of a gunslinger. And so I wanted like an old style Western kind of, Colt type of pistol. And when we got down there, I just started like working on some gunslinger tricks, because let's face it, I've always wanted to be in a Western anyway, so.
Hey, Dickless!
Amber has a lot of Piper in her. Amber is a total badass. Amber is tough as nails. Amber can shoot any gun you throw at her, can drive a car at 1,000,000 miles an hour and scare the shit out of you. I mean, Amber has so many of the cool elements of that character, and she really loved the script and brought that with her.
I luckily was given enough trust by the director, Patrick, and enough of a head start from the writer, Todd, to actually be able to take Piper to the next level, which is, I guess, something we decided early on. I asked Patrick, will you let me go there with her? And I know this character, I know Piper. I mean, I grew up in Texas, and fistfights and muscle cars are kind of part of the gig. So I guess from the time I could drive, I've owned a classic car. So I'm a hot rod type of chick.
There's no reference point for a character like the accountant. How long ago was he here? When's the last time he saw a woman? Does he like coming back? Is it cool to be back home again? I mean, it's like you can make choices like that throughout the whole experience of working on the film. He walks up and there's a waitress throwing something out who's got this pretty little pink thing on, and I said to Patrick, when's the last time the accountant saw a woman, or her perfume or something? And so you have that element that, you can make that choice or not, but the character is just wide open.
You, fat fuck. What'd you call me?
Dead fat. Fuck.
What?
That kind of happened in the moment right there. I had one word left in a sentence, and it was fuck, and there she was, and it just seemed appropriate to make it about something else.
To me, Bill had all the understanding of the character when he and I first sat down and talked about it. He understood that there was a uniqueness in cadence, a uniqueness in delivery, a uniqueness in somebody who has maybe been detached out of time at different points and resurfaced in the world, and who genuinely likes his job. It's funny that every time we screened the film for audiences, one of their favorite scenes is anytime anybody beats up Todd. Which, I don't know how to take that, but it means, you know, that the character works. You know, he's the character you love to hate.
Why does everyone keep hurting me?
Frank is what Piper was raised to believe she deserved. He was maybe the quarterback of the football team and then just never did anything past high school. Like, you know, he's that guy, and I think he roots Piper into that.
When we cast him in Valentine as Frank the trucker, and this one we always call him Frank the fucker.
We thought, well, wouldn't it be funny if it's the same character, if it's the guy from Valentine, and he's still a dick, and he's naked.
Yeah, Todd Farmer, we've decided in every movie we do, he'll be naked and killed. We're going to do the sequel to Gandhi next, and Todd Farmer will be naked and killed in that by Gandhi.
He fits himself in his movies, which is so cute.
These kind of movies need TNA, and I'm here to put my ass on the line.
In the scene, he covers himself with a sheet when I take this girl, Mona, outside. And I told Todd, you know what, drop the sheet, wouldn't that be funny? And I didn't know Todd that well, but if I had, I would have known that Todd would do it, and he did.
And then Patrick told me later that he cut it into the movie. It's no longer there, but it was for a time, which made me very nervous. Is the dick gonna be on the DVD? What are you shrugging for?
I hope that he's just, you know, scattered into pieces and sent among the ether to, you know, only to be recreated by the powers that be again for the sequel. But but I think what the theory is once you're killed by the God Killer, you're all done.
I've had fun on all my movies. This is my favorite movie, by far. We had the best crew, the best cast. It's really a unique movie. Patrick and I are both very proud.
I had the most amazing time making this movie. I had so much fun. I was so lucky to be a part of it.
Right up there are my top 2 all-time favorite things I ever worked on. I think it's taken over the #1 position.
See you soon.